This is Sarah Squires bringing you behind the headlines in today's edition of WyoToday Newsroom. Today, I am joined in the studio by Teal Davis. She is a new WyoToday reporter. Welcome to the studio, Teal.
Hi, Sarah. Thanks for having me.
Now, this is kind of an interesting scenario here because I know that although you've only been on the job here for less than a week, you've already been sitting in this chair once before. She has been a host of this show when she interviewed Jerica Little earlier this week on her recent accolades. But we wanted to take this chance to sort of introduce you to our community here in Fremont County, Hot Springs County, Washakie County, all of our listeners out there. We've got a new voice kind of behind the microphone here in Teal Davis. Now, Teal, I wanted to start off by asking you a little bit about kind of your background and what really sort of got you interested in journalism, generally speaking.
Yeah, absolutely, Sarah. I was always good at writing, and I knew that that was something that I wanted to utilize in a job, but it took me a while to kind of land on journalism. And I think that was really kind of inspired by where I grew up. I was born and raised in San Diego, and the communities there are so diverse and so like close together, but in many ways completely separate from each other. And I was really interested by how different policies affected these different groups that were right down the street from each other. And so I started to get into local government a lot more, started going to public meetings and kind of tracking the news that way. And I've done some really cool reporting from that, which I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that really attracted me to you as an applicant was, that core passion in writing. I remember years ago, some of my own journalism mentors kind of saying, well, I like to go for the English majors rather than the journalism majors, or I like to find candidates who really have that passion for writing, because you can kind of build on that in a way that you maybe can't if you don't have that foundation. So we're very excited about the writing and the journalism that we are going to see out of Teal here in our newsroom, both behind the microphone and, as far as our print products, you'll be able to read Teal in the Riverton Ranger, the Lander Journal, and the Wind River News here. Now, tell us a little bit about your background, generally speaking, Teal. I know you mentioned you're from San Diego, but tell us a little bit about what you're bringing to the table.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually just graduated from San Diego State University with that degree in journalism. Didn't get an English degree. Sorry about it. But yeah, that was a great opportunity for me to learn a lot. I interned at a few different places down there, including an investigative newsroom, which really kind of built out some of those good skills that I'm hoping to transfer over here. But yeah, I interned a good bit. I did some investigative work actually outside of that internship. There were some AI security cameras that were installed at SDSU at San Diego State University that I ended up doing a full investigation on. Did some really great kind of more sciencey reporting on some new updates to the waterfront down in San Diego. And so I kind of just got my footing that way, learning from San Diego State University, learning from those internships, and was looking for kind of something different and was excited about coming out here.
Yeah, that is some really incredibly interesting reporting that you've already got under your belt here. And we're excited to see what we'll be able to create with that and that kind of curious mind for things going on in the community and sort of how policy really, shapes our lives here. Now, since you've joined us here just over the last few days, you knocked one story right out of the park here for both print and radio here in interviewing Jerica Little. Tell us about Jerica's story and what's going on with that to celebrate.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a super fun one. Jerica's such a sweetheart. Everyone here has been so kind. And so, yeah, interviewing Jerica was fantastic. She actually just won Wyoming Heart of Hospitality Award at a recent summit for hospitality workers, which was a really big award. It was statewide. She was the inaugural winner of that award as well, which was cool to hear about. Jerica works at the Hampton Inn and Suites up in Riverton here. And yeah, it was great chatting with her. She seems so dedicated to her job. She loves the area so much and the community. And it was great getting to hear how much she's kind of developed herself in that role. It seems like a great opportunity that she's had to kind of come out of her shell and really connect with community members. And clearly that's worked out really well for her with winning this award.
Yeah. You can read all about Jerica's recent statewide Heart of Hospitality Award that she received. She was awarded by the governor. It sounded like she got a few hugs out of Mr. Gordon there. But you can read all about that in today's Riverton Ranger. So make sure to check that out. Now, having had that kind of experience here where you worked on a story for both the radio and for the newspaper, I'm wondering if you kind of got a sense for the different mediums or what you might be able to do differently when you're talking to someone and kind of hitting the record button or going live on the air versus, kind of hunkered over your keyboard and sort of spelling it out on your own. What differences have you noticed in working on that project kind of simultaneously?
Yeah, that's absolutely very different. Radio is a pretty new medium for me, so I absolutely have a lot to learn. I did a couple super small packages for a radio station affiliated with NPR down in San Diego, but outside of that, this is totally new. The whole soundboard recording, it's fun. So I'm hoping to really develop that out a little bit more while I'm here. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, there's definitely ways that you can reach people with radio that you can't do with newspaper and vice versa. But when the two forces join together, it is a really magical place to be. And that's what you get here with WyoToday. So we're so thankful. If you're just tuning in here, we are introducing reporter Teal Davis, who has just joined the WyoToday media team. She'll be writing here for the Riverton Ranger, the Lander Journal, and Wind River News, and you'll hear her on 101.7 FM, WyoToday Media's WyoToday Newsroom. I wanted to thank you for joining us, Teal, and sort of giving us a little glimpse into a new face, a new voice behind the microphone for WyoToday Newsroom. And make sure to check it out. We've got myself, Sarah Squires, Austin Beckdoss, and Marit Gukin, along with Teal Davis. We are the team bringing you behind the headlines on WyoToday Newsroom. Thanks so much.